Hello there, this is Drills88, and this is my Dead Space Remake Hard Mode Restricted Run. This is Chapter 12, Part 2, called Dead Space. And once again, this chapter pretty much throws everything it can at you. This chapter is pretty much a gauntlet of just necromorphs. The hardest necromorphs you can think of come at you in this chapter. And, to be fair, it makes a lot of sense. This is the final chapter of the game. It's trying to give you everything it's got. But, with that being said, however, this game, honestly, if you put enough time into it and just upgrade all your shit, it's really not that hard of a game. It's not. Look at me. Look at the playthrough that I'm doing right now. Looks like I'm dominating this game, doesn't it? Even though I had to retry a few parts here and there. This game is not that difficult. And the only reason why I had to do this kind of playthrough is to make it challenging. It's still fun regardless. Still a great game. But as you can see, I'm putting blades right next to this door. And you might want to do the same thing. It'll make things up ahead a little bit easier, and there's a reason for it. I'll get back on that later. Now, as for other news, if you've heard my other videos, then I'm pretty sure you've heard me rip on The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. And I can't really legitimately rip in on Tears of the Kingdom because I have not played it. But it looks just like another Breath of the Wild, and that's the reason why I'm not going to play it. And I'm going to just pummel these two games into the ground because I'm an old-fashioned Zelda player. Ocarina of Time, that kind of formula. That's what works for me. That's what Zelda is to me. And as far as Breath of the Wild formula goes, it doesn't work for me too well. Because all that game's open world design is for is to go find new weapons, and those weapons break. So you got to go keep replacing those weapons, which is annoying. And to find shrines. Those are the only two incentives to go explore the open world in those games. Elden Ring, however, does it better. Whenever you explore in Elden Ring, you might find a new weapon that don't break, and you might find talisman or something that you can equip to make yourself stronger, a new spell, something to make it stronger. There's always something almost worth exploring in Elden Ring. Now, granted, I don't see myself replaying Elden Ring in the future, unless just get some trophies or something. But once you're done exploring Elden Ring's map, there's really no reason to explore it again, but it's still a lot better than Breath of the Wild, because I played Breath of the Wild, and yeah, that open world doesn't work for me. At first it's fun, and then after a while it starts losing its purpose. Now right here, the divider's gonna walk up on you, and I just found this out. I guess when you hit them impel them with a sword or something, they fall apart instantly. I just figured that out right there. And I torched the little mini parts. Had a grenade launcher waiting for them just in case anybody, wanted to walk out those flames like a little badass. Kind of like Chuck Norris, you walk out the flames, in those movies. I'm going to speed this part right here up. Just me going through the hallway. And at this door, bring a few necromorph blades with you. Up ahead, you'll see why. A tentacle will show itself, and you can one-shot it with these blades, or anything that you can use to impel it. Not a pair of pliers, but necromorph blades. We go out here. Or there's another gauntlet of enemies, waves. So right here, There's the tentacle. I missed some, but that's why we brought a backup. And boom, see, one shot, he goes down. So, obviously come over here, this is where you need to go. I'm trying to get this thing out of this trolley out of the way. But I just shoot it off into the stratosphere, never to be seen again. And I'm setting stuff up for the laser trap maneuver. And once you bust that sack, get ready for a wave of necromorphs. Just come out of those vents over there. And that sack that you see down there, once you bust that sack down there, another necromorph wave will come up. And just throw anything you can at it. I mean, they're very sensitive, just like ball sacks. You know, one little tap and boom, instantaneous KO. And they're gonna come from over there. Use the laser trap, like always. Stay in this corner over here. Nobody spawns over here on this side, so you're always going to be safe over here. Now, things might seem a little quiet, but no, there's still one dude left. He's over yonder. But I'm just going to throw shit at him. And you'd think that after all the necromorphs that I just dismembered, I'd find a blade over here. But I keep finding body parts. And we finally beat him. Now, you have to make your way on the other side of this room and bust another sack. I'm going to leave a few necromorph blades right here because another tentacle will come up. Basically in the same spot that we encountered the first one. And I'm bringing this little generator with me, and I'm pretty sure that you can guess what I'm about to do with it. But same thing applies to this side. Once you bust a sack on this side, another wave of necromorphs is going to appear. They're going to come in heavier force though. And when you do bust a sack, be aware that there's going to be a tentacle sprouting basically right there. So just move forward with where you left that generator at, and you'll be safe. You won't get hit by it. And the moment that you bust that sack, a lurker pops out of that vent. Here's an armor necromorph. Aim for the arms. There's a pregnant. Aim for the arms as well. Do not aim for the center mass, or you'll have to deal with the little shits that come out of its stomach. And like I said, when you come up here, a tentacle is going to come up. I would take care of him. I would strongly advise to do so. There we go, one shot. Works like a charm. Now, right here, right where I'm at, we're going to set up shop right here. So I attach a line gun trap right here on the generator, like always. And you see that panel over there, right next to the red marker. Once you activate it, another wave of necromorphs is going to show up, and we're just going to go into that corner that we just came from. Because, like I said before, no necromorphs spawn over here. And this section would be a lot more difficult if they did. But we're just going to hunker down over here. And whenever we get... And, you know, they definitely come in heavier force on this one. But unfortunately, the laser trap gets used up on the first necromorph that comes out of that vent. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to have to put this generator away and use our force gun and a grenade launcher. Lethal combination. But that's why we got these guns. Another thing to notice is that I decided at this moment is to go ahead and do the final boss fight and add it to the video. I was actually going to have the final boss fight in its own video, but this video is short enough and I decided just to combine both of them. But we're not done with this section yet, because up here there's a tentacle. You could probably run past them, but I decided not to take that chance, and I miss him. But do not worry, there's plenty of necromorph blades around here. And there you go. We are done with this section. Now we're on to the boss fight. Okay, now we're at the final boss, the hive mind. And once you break down this boss fight and study it, it's really not that hard of a fight, except for the middle part of the fight where he sends his cronies at you, and I'll get into that. But I'll give you a lot of tips, strategies, and advice for it, and it's really simple. Just follow my lead. First off, you want to shoot off the 5 glowing pustules on his face. When you do that, he's going to shoot balls at you. And be prepared for a lot of ball jokes. But come over here to this corner right here and hug this wall. Whenever you do that, whenever he shoots the balls at you, you cannot be hit by them. Then once he's done, just come over here and then just keep running to the left or the right. And then because he's gonna send down a tentacle on you. And whenever you see one of those tentacles whip in the air, just step over to the left or the right. And that's it for the first phase of this fight. And whenever he throws back both of his tentacles, he's gonna throw balls at you. And, you know, I don't like balls in my face. So we go over there to that corner and it works like a charm. And he wasn't supposed to do that. I don't know why he decided to puke a lot of balls in your face. But sometimes he does. So come over here to this corner, and I'm just over here filtering out the ground right here, you know, getting rid of the plasma or the stasis refills, mouthpieces as I call them. Because if you haven't noticed, you will be plagued with those, man. Like, it really wants you to use them. Yeah, I really want you to use stasis on this part because it'll just give you a bunch of refills. But yeah, you don't even need to keep your eye on them. Just on this corner, just come over here, make your way over here as soon as you can to dodge that tentacle. And once he slams the tentacle on the ground, you're free to shoot one of the things on his face. Really easy to target them. Make your way to this corner. Once he's done chucking balls at you, come around here, wait for him to slam that tentacle on the ground, and then finish off his face. And I'm just showcasing just splendid marksmanship right here, missing almost every shot. But we're done shooting the 5 sacks on his face. Now we come to the midway part of this fight, which is the most difficult part. And honestly, in future playthroughs, on a future project, I do plan on doing a plasma cutter only, and I don't know how I get through this, but I tried actually getting through this part as much as I could with the plasma cutter only, but I end up, pussying out, and because I have done this boss fight a lot of times, so I had to retry, and every single time you retry, you have to watch that stupid cutscene over again, and I didn't want to take any chances, so I do end up pulling the foreskin out, and yeah, that's going to be interesting how I deal with this with the plasma cutter only. I'm pretty sure it's possible. Very hard to do, but very doable. Not very doable, but still doable nonetheless. I use the force gun and the grenade launcher to its most effectiveness. And like I said, this is the hardest part of the fight. And these are the last few necromorphs to show up, and be aware. I think after a certain amount of time has passed by, the hive mind will start attacking you again. He'll just lose his patience and start attacking you again. And I'm trying to pick up the sack, but Isaac just picks up everything else on the ground. This is the reason why I was trying to get rid of those mouthpieces earlier. It's so annoying. And yeah, when you're on the last few of these guys, be aware the hive mind will attack very soon, because I have been killed by him. Because I thought I was under the impression that if you're not finished with these guys, then he can't attack you, but that's not the case. Now we're on to the final phase, and he graciously shows his ball sacks to you, and we would be very rude to deny the offer, and that could very well be taken out of context, but you can see on screen what's going on, and just dodge his tentacles, and I blow up his ball sacks in the process. Now here, once you blow them up, he's gonna start doing a new move. He's gonna spit acid at you, and how I deal with this is I start from one end of the room and just run all the way to this other side. And with this move, he cannot hit you with it. Now, when you blow up more of his ball sacks, he'll start spitting 3 of those acid attacks at you, and you can just utilize the same exact strategy I just showed you. Start from one room and run to the other one. That simple, people. Don't make a hassle out of this, okay? See? Now this is where he starts shooting 3 acid rounds at you. I just make my way from one end to the other. No, wait, I was wrong. He doesn't start that until after you destroy a certain amount of stacks on him. But that acid attack is to restrain you and condense you into the room, making it harder for you to dodge his tentacle attacks. I think after there's 2 more left, that's when he starts shooting 3 at you. But do not worry. Just utilize the strategy, and he cannot hit you with it. See? And those first 2 acid rounds don't last on the ground like the final one does. So, yeah, as you can see what I'm doing here, just simply run left and then all the way to the right, and then the third one is this final one. So just dodge the tentacles, and it's that easy, folks. At this point, the boss fight is pretty much wrapped up, except for the very final part, which is kind of bullshit. And I will tell you about that once we get to it here in a minute, or here in a second. Now right here, this is the final part of the fight. he grabs you and you gotta shoot that yellow sack in the middle of his face, and it's a lot harder because he's moving around and you're moving around, and if you don't shoot it off his face by the time that he grabs you near to his face, then you're pretty much fish food, dude. Like, yeah. It's a pretty gritty way to go, actually. But I just use the pulse rifle, and thing to note on this part is you have unlimited ammo, and you don't have to reload. And it's very easy to miss too. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have died on that part because they just could not aim for shit. But that's it, people. That is the final boss fight. That is the end of my project. We beat the game with no upgrades, taking no damage, no stasis, and no shop. We didn't buy anything from the shop. And yes, it was quite a challenge, and hopefully maybe I can do a plasma cutter only variation of that challenge as well. We'll see what happens. But yep, that's the end, people. I had fun doing this project, and you have a nice day. I'll see you in the next project. You take care. Goodbye.